All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how I trade bear and bull flag patterns. One of the more popular patterns when it comes to trading, especially if you do any sort of research on technical patterns, that's probably one of the top. Everybody has kind of their own way of trading it. I'm just going to show some really good examples and how I approach those bear and bull flags. And I take these bear flags and bull flags with stock and options. I don't really care so much about what I'm using to take the trade. As long as the setup is there and it moves in my favor relatively quickly, I know that I can be profitable. Now, nothing is 100%, so just because a technical pattern looks good does not mean it's going to work every single time. Like I always talk about in my videos, the most important part of my trading, which I'm a scalper, is I want it to go very quickly in my favor. If it starts to go against me, I just want to do my best to get out quick. And I like to focus on taking these flag patterns on stocks that are trending pretty aggressively in one direction, or they just broke a massive area of resistance or support, because it gives you a really good idea as to which way it's going to go. I don't think that every flag is the exact same, and just because a flag forms does not mean that that's the one that I want to trade. I really am focusing on those high volume, trending names, big breaks of resistance and support. That's when I want to apply this pattern to my trading and take the setup. And today I want to go over a few examples of that. For the first one, let's start with Tesla. There were actually two good flag patterns on the same day, and that was Thursday, October 21st. So now before I even get into the flag pattern, I am making a trading decision, or at least getting a trade idea from the daily chart first. So looking at Tesla on the 21st, this was Thursday. So prior to market open, I am going to be marking the levels that I always talk about in my videos that I personally like to trade around. Pre-market high, pre-market low, prior day high, and prior day low. Okay, so I've marked those levels, and just for the purpose of the video, so it's very easy to see, I made prior day high green, this green line, prior day low, the red line, pre-market low, which was 850.30, this baby blue line, and then pre-market high, which was 859.86, this baby blue line as well. And now what I try to do is I want to see a flag form around these levels. Preferably, I like them to form just below them, so that way I can take the flag and then it runs into these levels. And then I think when they start to get taken out, they can create some momentum, but the stock market is not perfect. Sometimes it's hard to get that exact setup. So even if it gets through those levels and then it forms a flag, I still like that setup. And the reason why I still like that setup is because it took out a technical level, and then I think it's going to catch momentum and still has room to run. So now let's look at Tesla on an intraday 2-minute chart of Thursday the 21st. So it opened a little bit lower, but very clearly this was super strong. So it started to take out some upside levels incredibly quick. And at these levels, it did not form a clean flag pattern. So I'm never just trying to chase through that. I really want to see the flag form around it. So it ends up getting bought off the open. It immediately takes out pre-market high, takes out prior day high. So knowing that those upside levels got taken out, I think this has a chance to catch momentum. And this move that happened off the open was done on incredibly high volume. So just knowing that there's a lot of people watching this. And the really good thing about this day is that there is going to be an example of two different types of flags. Not every single flag is going to look the exact same, but just the idea of it, where there is a big move, there's some form of consolidation, and then continuation. So here's the first one that I see. Really big push off the open, pulls back just a little bit, has a very short period of consolidation, forms a tight flag pattern. I call these quick flag patterns because you got to be very fast to react. And sometimes I miss a lot of these just because they happen really quick and it's easy to watch them go by. So even though this is a good example of a flag, these are ones that happen very fast, not easy to catch, but I want to show examples of all of them. So it has the huge push, consolidates for a very short period of time. It's above the VWAP. It's above the 9 EMA. And then when it breaks this high, so that high was 876, nice whole number. This is how I try to trade them. So as this pulls back, I know that the high day is 876, very quick period of consolidation. I'm trying to anticipate it just a little bit. So if I was good, maybe being able to get long 875.75, 875.80, 875.90. And what I want to do is I want to see that high 876 break immediately. And then when it really starts to quickly move in my favor, I'm a scalper, so I am just taking profits. Personally, I don't like to hold for a long period of time, so I would have been out on this same candle. But as you can see, they're very powerful. I mean, this went from 876 to 885, almost a 10-point candle. There's a lot of money to be made in just that quick move right there. And this is a good example of it going in my favor, but here's how I focus on the downside because not every single one is going to work. I want to see that 876 break very quick. If it gets up into 876 and it starts to struggle and then it pulls back, call it like a point, 875, 874 real quick, I just get out of the way. I do not want to be patient. I don't want to hold and hope. The moment it starts to go against me, I just bail. And I do that just because that's what works best for me. So I don't risk a dollar amount. I don't risk a certain percentage amount. It's more of a time-based stop. I want it to move almost instantly in my favor. If it starts to go against me and I start to become red on the position, I just want to get out of it really fast because I can always reevaluate. I do not want to get caught holding. So that was the first flag pattern. Here is the next flag pattern that I see. So very strong move higher. Clearly catching momentum, a lot of volume this day. The reason why I like this flag pattern is because more time goes by. So it gives me some time to be able to process what's going on, and then it can kind of digest this move. So it had a huge move higher, and it consolidates towards the high of that move, showing that buyers are clearly in control. It's above VWAP, it's above the 9 EMA. Nice sideways consolidation. It finally starts to catch up to the 9. The high a day is 888.50. So I'm thinking if it can break that 888.50, then it probably has a chance to go higher. Nothing is guaranteed, but just knowing that momentum is to the upside on this, and the personality of Tesla is that when it catches momentum, it can really run. I like the setup. And here's where the flag is forming. So nice period of consolidation. It's finding some support. It's getting nice and tight. Big move, sideways consolidation, the flag. And then once it starts to break the high, that 888.50 area, remember, I'm always trying to anticipate just a little bit. So if I was good, get long 888, 888.20, 888.30. So just anticipating the break. And then what I want to see, similar to this setup, even though this was a quick one, I want to see it break almost immediately. And then once it starts to move in my favor, I'm just going to consistently take those quick profits because I'm a scalper and that's what I like to do. And then similar situation with this flag, if it gets up to that 888.50 and then it stuffs and it starts to pull back and this thing goes against me 50 cents a dollar real fast, I am just getting out of the trade because I wanted to see that break and go almost immediately. So this is a really good example of two different types of flag patterns, ones that can form very fast, and these are not easy to catch because they can happen really quick. So even I miss them a lot. The type of flags that I like are ones that give you some time to really see it form, where it has a nice period of consolidation, it goes sideways for a while, and then knowing that if it makes a new high, I believe that it's going to have follow through. So I actually took this trade and I got a nice quick scalp on it. Obviously, I left a lot on the table because I just consistently take the quick move, but these are very powerful setups. Okay, so that was an example of some bull flags. Now I want to show you an example of a bear flag. This one happened on Amazon, and the reason why I think that this was a good setup is because even though Amazon had a really nice move higher on the daily recently, it had a period of consolidation, and this broke a big area of support to the downside. So when a big area of support breaks on a momentum name like Amazon, I believe that some selling pressure can come into that stock, and that's where these flag patterns can be really good. So I marked the prior day high, pre-market high, pre-market low, and then just knowing that 3,400 is a big area of support. So if that breaks, it looks like there's some room to the downside. Nothing is guaranteed, but when big areas of support break on momentum names, that's where they can get some really aggressive selling pressure and big moves. And then the flip side, when a big area of resistance breaks on a momentum name, that's where those big moves can come from as well. So that's what I'm always looking at. Prior day high, prior day low, pre-market high, pre-market low, and then big areas of resistance and support. And when they break, I want to have them on watch because I think there's a chance to have some really nice setups that day. And here's Amazon on the intraday 2-minute chart. So how to push off the open and then look at this aggressive selling. So that is a really big move, telling me that at least for the short term, sellers are in control. And if it can't hold this 3,400 level, that's a massive support level on the daily that's about to get taken out. And if that happens, then I believe that there is room to the downside. And then this is where I see the first flag pattern. The reason why I like this flag is because it's a longer period of consolidation. It doesn't happen so quick, so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. And it's below VWAP, and it's below the 9 EMA, so it starts to get tight. It cleared that 3,400, big support level, knowing that low a day is 3389.70. So if it breaks that low a day, being that it's below the 3,400, I think it has room to the downside. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to anticipate that low a day break. So if I was good, 3390, trying to get in just before that. I'm not perfect. Believe me, there is plenty of times where I take it as it breaks just a little bit below. but I'm trying to always have that attitude of I really want to see this go quick or I need to get out. And then this breaks low a day, and look at this really nice follow through it has after. I'm never going to be able to catch the whole move. I'm just scalping these moves, but even just a quick move lower on Amazon, we're talking about almost a 10-point move. There is plenty of money to be made on that breakdown. And here's how I would have managed this if it didn't work. So if I got short 33.90 anticipating the low a day, and then it gets there, bounces off it, or even it just gets just below it and then starts to bounce against me, and this goes 33.91, 33.92, and quickly goes 1-2 points against me, I'm just getting out of the trade right away. I don't want to be patient with it. I want it to go quick or just get out because that's my style and that's what works best for me. So that was flag number 1, and then here's where I see flag number 2. So another nice period of consolidation, below the 9, below VWAP, starts to get tight, and the low of day now is 33.73.08. So as this starts to break down and it gets close to that, I want to try to anticipate just slightly. And then once it starts to follow through and I get a quick move, I'm just taking those quick profits. But as you can see, this has really nice follow through. If you're at all any more patient than I am, there's some nice big moves that can come after the fact. And here's how I would have managed this if it didn't work. So if I was good, trying to anticipate the low a day, 33.74, 33.73.50, and then as it gets there, if it starts to bounce off of it or even just breaks it very quickly and then very quickly starts to bounce, once it starts to go against me, a point, 2 points, I'm just getting out of the trade. Remember, there are many different ways to trade these patterns. This is just the way that I go about it. My 2 favorite patterns are opening range breaks and flag patterns, and I always want to take that approach of go quick or just get out so that way the losses aren't too big. So that's it. Those are some good examples of some bull flags on Tesla and some bear flags on Amazon and how I go about trading them. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to highlight a couple really cool things that I have to offer. The first is my newsletter watch list that I'm going to be posting on my private Twitter 30 minutes before the open of each trading day. Here's an example of what that's going to look like. So I'm going to do a quick overview of the market, the SPY, the Qs, the upside levels, the downside levels, and then a sentence or two as to the overall bigger picture. Make sure to highlight any market news or events that are happening that day. And then I'm going to list the 4 to 6 stocks that I'm watching that day. If there's any company specific news, all the upside levels and the downside levels, and then do a quick bigger picture, a couple sentences as to what's going on in the daily chart. This is everything that's in my head prior to market open. This is how I prepare, and a really easy way to get access to my trading process. One page with everything I'm looking at, all the technical levels, and all the news delivered 30 minutes before market open in a really organized fashion. Also, I have a call service, so if you want something that's a little bit less of a commitment, you want to connect with me directly, talk about my trading, my journey along the way, and just connect with another trader, this is really great. And this can be a video call or a regular call, whatever you're comfortable with. It's a one-time fee, and it's going to be for 1 hour. So if you're interested in either one of these, I will put the links in the description below.